What's up guys, Julien here, back with another cooking video. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite things to eat during the wintertime, braised lamb shank. So let's get started. To begin, we need to know a little bit about what part of the lamb shank comes from. The shank is the leg meat just below the knee of the animal. This means that it has muscles and tendons that are tough to break down. This is why this part of the animal is typically braised. Today we're going to be using red wine.
Ah, a nice French wine, perfect to drink. Why would you ever want to waste it cooking meat with tendons? What is wrong with you? Sacré bleu!
You know, he's not necessarily wrong. You don't want to end up using an amazing wine to braise your lamb shanks. This could end up becoming a very expensive meal in that case, and plus, a fancy expensive wine wouldn't add any more flavor to the meal. Today, we're going to be using a dry red wine to braise our lamb shanks. This will add an overall acidity to the flavor profile, but we don't want a wine with too many tannins, as that will add an overall bitterness to the flavor profile. This wine I found to be pretty good. It's a Pinot Noir, but you could just as easily use a Merlot. But take it easy on the Cabernet Sauvignon. To add some more rich flavors to the sauce, we're going to be using some chicken stock to round off the braising liquids. The classic quartet of vegetables that we are going to include in this stew are carrot, celery, onion, and garlic. Potatoes go great with this meal, but you can cook them separately as they can end up adding a graininess to the stew. You'd be doing your taste buds a disservice if you left out herbs in this meal. Thyme and rosemary are a must. Don't forget 2 bay leaves either. We're going to be using parsley and mint as garnishing for the meal at the end.
Going to want to use the tomato paste as well. This will help to thicken the sauce as well as add a really nice rich tomato flavor.
And now for the star of the show, the lamb shanks. As you can imagine, the better quality meat you get, the better the stew will taste. So make friends with your local butcher. Make sure to get the freshest cut you can get. You will want some amount of fat on the meat, but don't be afraid to trim it down. You also want to have something to cook this in. I suggest a Dutch oven, but you could also use a large pot. Essentially, you want anything that can fit all of these ingredients in, has a lid, and also is oven safe. So all of that being said, let's get started.
You're going to want to cut up all the vegetables first. Cut them into 1/4-inch slices to ensure that they get cooked thoroughly, while also maximizing their surface area to stick the sauce to. For this recipe, we're going to be chopping up 2 onions, 2 stalks of celery, 5 to 6 cloves of garlic, and 2 carrots. Time to butcher down the meat. Grab your knife. No, not that knife. You're going to want to use a boning knife or a paring knife because they're much more precise and thinner blades, and this will help with being a little more precise and flexible as we go around the edges of the meat. You know the saying, you are what you eat? Well, it's obviously not literally true, it's just a saying. It should be conscious of what you eat, you won't regret it, and your food will taste better. Okay, that doesn't really roll off the tongue, but you get my point. Don't just leave your meat alone, you have to whip it into shape. Even if your butcher is amazing, he or she is still going to miss something. So to start off, we're going to be removing the silver skin, that whitish membrane on the outside of the meat, and any other fatty deposits. This will lessen any gamey flavor as the meat is cooked. When done, season the meat with salt and pepper. This is a good time to start de-thawing any chicken stock you have laying around, or get the old carton out if you bought it from the grocery store. Don't forget to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 Celsius. In the same pot you're going to braise the meat in, heat up some olive oil on medium-high heat. Once hot, add the lamb shanks to the pot and brown the meat on all sides. Yes, even those small bits. If you see any red meat, then you're not done browning. Once done, set on a cutting board or on a plate to rest. In the same pot, add some more olive oil as needed and then add the onions and garlic. Saute for around 3 to 5 minutes. Then add the carrots and celery. Saute for another 5 minutes or until everything is coated in that delicious rendered off fat from the lamb. Now it's time to deglaze the pan. Pour in some of the wine in order to loosen up all the bits of vegetables and lamb that are stuck to the bottom of the pan. I say a little bit of wine because it will be easier for you to see the bottom of the pan. We're working with red wine here, guys. Add the rest of the wine. Depending on how many shanks and the pot you're using, it may vary. And then add some chicken stock while you're at it. Submerge the lamb shanks in the braising liquid and bring to a boil. You can also start adding the herbs, and don't forget the tomato paste, it'll really round off the sauce. Once boiling, we can cover the pot and then put in the oven. We're going to be cooking this lamb for an hour and 45 minutes. I used the downtime to cook some pearl couscous according to the box instructions using the leftover stock that I had. It's nothing fancy, but I think lamb and couscous are a match made in heaven. While you're waiting, what's the best thing you could be doing? Cleaning up the kitchen? No. Writing your next novel? No. Getting the next moon in Super Mario Odyssey? Definitely not. Teaching yourself a new language? God damn it, no! Sure, all those things sound productive, but sometimes it's nice to just relax with a glass of wine and think about, well, anything other than cleaning up the mess in the kitchen.
With this meal, I suggest a Pinot Noir or Merlot, either similar in taste to the braising liquid, or maybe even the same exact one. Today I have a Cloves de Jacobins. Well, you know, I'm not going to even pretend to know how to pronounce that, but it's a Pinot Noir 2014. It's actually pretty delicious. Hey, this is pretty good. I've got some time to kill, so I'm gonna, just take this. So there you have it, braised lamb shank, and another episode of Hungover Cooking Show under our belt. What did you think? Tell us in the comments section below. And don't forget to tweet your braised lamb shank at us at Gaming Hungover, or possibly post it in the Facebook group Hungover Podcast. And on a final note, guys, don't forget to eat good food, drink good wine, and have a great time cooking. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.